About 70% of YouTube's total watch hours are smartphone views. So if you want to give your viewers the best experience possible, maybe it's time to finally ditch the 16:9. Hi everyone, I'm Thomas, and today I'll explain why I think it's time for a change. Screen real estate basically means the available space on a screen. And the better you can utilize that space, the better experience you're providing for your viewers or visitors if it's a web page. Now, the iPhone 8 Plus, released in 2017, was the last iPhone with a 16:9 screen. And that same year, both LG and Samsung released smartphones with an 18:9 screen. So this wider screen isn't really a new thing, but what is new is the amount of hours people watch YouTube on their smartphones. Now, of course, the YouTube app will allow people to zoom in to fill the entire screen. The problem, however, is that far from everyone use this function, and there's a lot of people that doesn't even know this function exists. The second problem with using the zoom function is that it can sometimes make your compositions look all wacky, and if you're using a lot of text overlays and stuff like that, maybe those will get partially or completely pushed off screen. Now, before I show you how to adjust the aspect ratios of your videos, some of you are probably thinking, well, what about all those people watching on a tablet or a computer screen or a TV with a regular 16:9 aspect ratio? And you're right, but the impact of this change will be far greater on those tiny little smartphone displays. Losing a tiny little sliver at the top and the bottom on a bigger 16:9 display is barely going to be noticeable, in my opinion. So what is the optimal aspect ratio for the moment? And I'm saying for the moment because this is likely to change sometime again in the future. But on consumer electronics, it's usually referred to as 18:9, and in the movie making business, it's referred to as 2:1. And this is a format that's becoming more and more popular lately because it's kind of a good middle ground between the theatrical 2:39:1 and the standard 16:9, making it a bit easier to kind of crop and reframe theatrical releases to fit and look good on consumer screens. It also happens to be one of the more popular aspect ratios on most smartphones. In order to get this 2:1 aspect ratio, head up to your sequence setting in your editing software and simply change the height of your frame to half of the width. Your 1920 by 1080 clip will become 1920 by 960. And this is by far the easiest and the fastest way to rescale. The second option is to change the width to 2160, but this will force you to increase your clips to cover the entire frame, and the easiest way to rescale all the footage on your timeline is by adding an adjustment layer with a transform effect and scale everything up by 13%. Now, you don't have to make these changes, obviously, but depending on your audience, if you have an audience watching the majority of your work on their smartphones, you will be providing them with a better and more immersive experience, especially since smartphone screens are tinier than tablet, computer, or TV screens. And these days, mobile optimization is key for pretty much everything. And now the question is, when will we see 18:9 or 2:1 on DSLRs and mirrorless cameras as an option for video? I mean, there's some cameras that can shoot a little wider, like the Fujifilm X-T4 that I'm using right now. I'm actually shooting in DCI, which is 1.85:1. With that said, I want to thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget that in Swedish, strawberries is earth dudes. Bye! And in the movie baking, testar jag en till.